morning, everyone. Thank you for braving the second snowstorm we've had in a week to Olof. So, again, thank you for all for coming. And Diego, if you want to kick things off.
Hi, everyone. Good to see everyone back for another season. Thanks for braving the weather to make it out here. Didn't know how many people we'd expect to see face-to-face, and I know it's not easy out there. Just small gesture on behalf of the club for all of you guys coming here as a way of saying thanks. Please pick up a gift card we have on the way out to grab a warm coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever you'd like. So we're here to officially welcome and introduce you all to St. Louis City SC's newest head coach, Olof Mellberg. Olof was born in a small town in Sweden as the son of two PE teachers. He grew up playing all sorts of sports, but surprisingly only started playing football until his early teens. Since then, had an amazing playing career as a center back, played in some of the top competitions in the world, the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, and he captained the national team in Sweden in both World Cups and Euros. After that long and successful playing career, Olof transitioned into management. He comes to us with 5 years of experience as a head coach, primarily in Sweden and primarily at a small but very highly respected team in Stockholm called Brommapojkarna. He spent 4 seasons there, and over that time, he consistently demonstrated an ability to get the best out of his team, improve young players, and deliver results above expectations. That has earned him a strong reputation and, of course, brought multiple job offers. From the beginning, we've been thrilled to see his excitement for the MLS, his growing knowledge of our team and our players, and his steadfast commitment to wanting to be here. So we are thrilled to have him and excited about our future together. Going briefly into the process we followed, Lutz and I have been engaged on this since mid-season. At that point, we stated that we would be handing over the keys to John Hackworth for the rest of the season as interim head coach, which is what we did. And during those months, Lutz and I, together with Carolyn, approved the profile of the coach that we were looking for, employed a strong use of data to uncovering hidden gems around the world, went from a long list to a short list, interviewed candidates, traveled to meet them, and ultimately landed on the person that we believe is going to help us be successful on the pitch going forward. Lastly, I do want to, once again, on behalf of everyone at the club, extend our gratitude to John Hackworth. His passion, dedication, leadership were critical for us navigating last year, and without a doubt, the team improved under John. So we're very grateful for his contribution to the club and are also very excited to have him back in his role as technical director, which is a key role in the sporting area, working very closely with Lutz and the team.
Yeah, good morning from my side as well. Happy New Year to everyone. Diego said we took our time. It was a long process to find the right candidates. Took a few months, but I think that's what we wanted to do. And I think Olaf was the one who came out on top of the list, the guy we wanted. And welcome to St. Louis. He had lots of other teams pursuing him. Lots of other teams were interested in him. Mostly, of course, the Swedish national team, which fortunately for us, he didn't take. And that's why he's in St. Louis now. So it was obviously always an honor to take your national team. I think for me, the leadership qualities which he learned just not as a coach, but also as a player, being a captain for big teams like Aston Villa, also for the Swedish national team, playing in all the big competition, I think is extremely important for how he manage a group, how he leads his stuff, how he will also be, basically be included in the football community here, which is a massive thing in St. Louis. And I think the head coach always have this certain role model, which he has to do. And I think that's something where Olaf really comes again out on top, because his work ethic, the way he coaches, the way he interacts with players and with stuff is something we figured out pretty quickly by making a good research, but also meeting him on various calls, Zoom calls, and then actually flying to Stockholm to sit down. And I think that's when you get that feeling that you're dealing with the right person. I said, working in detail, the work ethic, being very disciplined, the way he was as a player, I think is the key for us. We are already looking now into the preseason, where he landed last Friday and literally we went to a hockey game, right, directly after. But straight the next day we went to the office and started to really work detail with the coach on preseason, which is a key. You know, we made that experience last year. At his previous clubs, I think most important, he always were above his expectations. It's a smaller club, which was based a lot on young players, but also players which not the biggest names. They're always overachieved. He's very good in developing players. He's very good in actually forming a winning team. And I think that's the key for us. You know, we want to have a winning culture. For me, one of the most important things is his track record by maximize the potential of the squad. It doesn't matter if it's only youngsters, it can be also older players, to get the most out of that, what we have on the field or on the training pitch, I think is the key. Last thing from me, I think playing philosophy, of course, is very important. You know, we will not change our style. We will not change our philosophy. That's the unnegotiable, but we want to have our style 2.0, which means we want to be better with the ball. We want to evolve our playing style. We want to actually get better every year. And I think that's where he's as a former central defender. I think we want to tighten up our defense, but most important also get better with the ball, play some attractive football. And I think that's why we made a very good choice with Olof Mellberg.
Thanks, guys. We'll have a couple questions to Diego and Lutz, then we'll go to Olaf. So, Tom, kick things off.
This is for either Diego or Lutz. I mean, before the search began, did you guys know of Olof? Was it a name that was out there?
Yeah, I mean, Tom, if you watch football games in the past, then you know Olof Mellberg. You know, he played 4 European Championships. He played 2 World Cups for Sweden. Juventus Turin, they're also pretty good. So I think it's a name which is very familiar in European football. And also the rumor about taking over the Swedish national team, of course, there was lots of other teams looking at it. We knew each other before from playing days, not that far apart. I look a bit younger than him, but actually I'm older. And so that goes in the past as well. So yeah, we knew of him. We worked with data, and I think data also was something which really was convincing. But then there is the human part to it. If you meet, if you speak, if you talk about how you see football, how you live football, how you want to have a training week, how you want to travel to games and what you want to do, I think that's when the chemistry needs to fit. But then again, in the end of the day, it's about winning games, playing style, taking the best out of the squad. And that's why Olaf was always one of the top candidates for us.
Is there any concern about someone with no MLS experience?
No, not at all for me, because I think we have enough people in our staff which have a lot of MLS experience. It's not that we're having a completely new coaching team with 5-6 guys who never visited the United States before. I think there is lots of people who worked in the league for many, many years, even in double digits. And that part is one thing when it comes to traveling, when it comes to preparing, when it comes to the different climate, when it comes to different time zones. But that's not rocket science, to be honest. I think it's important that we have a coach who knows what we want. We have a coach who knows the squad, who have a coach who makes us better as a team. And I don't think MLS experience is the key for that.
I would also say this was a key at the beginning. We did have a lot of discussions around that target coach profile and is that important or not? That was a big discussion that Lutz, Carolyn, and I had. We thought about it, but we also looked at data to give us any comfort whether there was any proven discernible difference between coaches that come here without MLS experience or with, and there really isn't. So then it just becomes, are you thinking short term or are you thinking medium or long term? No, and short term, it's probably likely that someone that knows the league well has some advantages, but we made sure to be making decisions for the medium term and for the long term rather than for the medium term and long term versus the short term.
Diego, you just alluded to it there a moment ago, but can you expound upon the data that you were able to utilize and how it does translate to MLS success?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we had the benefit of time to run this process better than most teams can do when they need to replace a head coach. We obviously had John Hackworth able to pick up the reins and lead the team, and we had said that we were going to give ourselves the rest of the season to do that. So that allowed us to really combine the qualitative view with the quantitative analysis. From a data perspective, I would say, we're obviously still a young team, so we are still getting better and better with our use of data, but we were able to consult the database of 25,000 head coaches around the world. The moment that we did say MLS prior experience is not a requirement, we're able to obviously cast a much wider net. And by looking at 25,000, a data set of 25,000 head coaches around the world, we were then able to start filtering by things like the experience level, the number of years, the ability to add value to their team. Are they able to get better results than the quality of the team that they've been given? Their win ratios, their ability to achieve milestones like winning a trophy or getting a promotion. We were able to look at game model stats, expected goals for and against. We really went deep into defining through data what are we trying to find, and then using that data to both help us source new candidates that maybe we would have missed otherwise, but also to give us more information and color about the candidates we were meeting, so we could try to dig deeper into what we may be seeing in the data and why. So it was a really great combination of being able to combine the use of data with obviously incredible knowledge on the sporting side from Lutz, incredible network and familiarity with head coaches all over the world, and got to the decision that we got to.
We'll go to Jacob, then Justin.
Lutz, you guys have touched on the success that he had as a player and the player that he was. How important is that in a search like this to have a successful playing career that can translate to a manager level?
In general, it doesn't mean anything. A good player doesn't mean he makes a good coach. I can give you 1,000 examples. In this case, it's different. There is players you feel the way they lead their team as a captain or they lead their team on the field, that there is potentially a good coach in that player. You actually can give you many examples as well. I think that was for us the key, how he coaches, not the way he played. That's something nice to have, and it gives you, of course, a wealth of experience. That gives you a lot of things in the past which you can use and translate onto the field. But in the end of the day, as I said, it's all about what's happening on the field, what's happening in the changing room, how you lead your team as a coach. And I think that was the details we looked at when we got the reports back from Sweden, when we spoke to lots of former players, we spoke to colleagues of him, we spoke to other coaches, we spoke to the Swedish National Association about lots of that details, how he behaves, how he talks, how he monitors his role as a coach. And that was the absolute plus here. It's a bonus that he was a world-class player, but if he would have played in a smaller league in Finland, it wouldn't bother me as long as he's a good coach.
This for either of you. Obviously, we've spoken a lot about the academy when we've been here before, and like Olaf's experience with a program that has a strong academy as well. How important was it for both of you to find a manager that could help shepherd academy kids through the second team, through the first team, and just defining that pathway a little bit more?
I mean, I think it's another ingredient that's important in the search. I mean, I think the fact that he was coaching at a team that has, I believe, the largest academy setup in Europe, maybe the world. They've got thousands of players in their academy setup. And also that meant that many times he was in charge of a team that was made up of developing young players that came through that academy. That, of course, gives us confidence in his ability to not just add value on our first team and the young players coming up in our first team, but also to try to share some of that best practice with our CD2 team, our academy setup, and really integrate them into the entire sporting operation.
Yeah, that's another one which will not change. I think we always said we want to have a really close connection between the second team, CD2, and the academy. So rubbing shoulders for our academy coaches to go into the office, talk to Olof and his staff to really understand what he wants and also translate that into the exercises, into the training sessions of the academy is really, really important. We want to be a team which plays the same style from the academy onwards into the second team up to the first team. So playing style, as we said, we were clear, but I said that before, and I really want to focus on that. In Brommapoikarna, it's not just a team with only youngsters. That was a team who brought in cheaper players, younger players, players from other teams, and he made them better. He made them into a winning team. He increased the value, and improving the potential of the whole squad, I think, is the key. That what we want. We want to get better. We want to get stronger. And we want to play a bigger role again we did last year, and that starts with the head coach.
We'll do two more for Diego and Lutz. We'll go to Lynn and then go to Matt Baker on Zoom.
For both Diego and Lutz, when you talk about the profile, you sit down to develop a profile of the coach that you wanted to hire. Could you just explain a little bit more about what it was that you guys sort of came to, just because it feels like that would be very indicative of where you feel like you are with your team and where you want to go?
You know, it goes back to the playing style. It goes also to the personality. What do we want? I think we chose also a coach where his personality represents what we are as a club. It's a person who is down to earth, which is very hardworking, which is not the typical show pony. A guy who basically integrates very well in the community when it comes to a personality. When it comes to the playing style, of course, that was when the profile comes in quite a lot, where high intensity runs. I mean, if you look at his former teams, high intensity runs, sprints, work against the ball, really getting into very quick transition mode. That was the data which really stuck out in Olof Mellberg's coaching career. And that's the data what we are looking for. I mean, this is extremely important. Of course, there is lots of other points. We looked at age, we looked at MLS experience, we looked at lots of other things to get a general profile. But the most important thing comes down in the end of the day to the way we want to play football. And that is the matrices we always have developed, how we want our left back to play, how we want our center mid to play, how we want our goalkeeper to distribute the balls. That all is measurable in the way we want to play. And that is where Olaf played exactly the football in Brommapojkarna like we want to play here.
I think that's fine.
And then we'll go to Matt.
Diego, Lutz, question on the roster that you're going to be delivering to Olaf. Do you feel like you're giving him a complete roster to work with at the start of training camp next week? Or are there pieces you're still looking to fill that would set Olaf up for the most success? And similarly, any updates on the negotiations with Jake Nowinski and how he looks to play some of the home games?
Yeah, Matt, unfortunately, you got stuck in the snow, so you can't be here personal. I really miss you, to be honest. Yeah, let's put it this way. We are pretty happy with the squad right now. There will be still, we are not 100% done. We did most of the things in the summer, so it was very clearly said we will not have a lot of big changes in the January window. However, we signed Timo Baumgartel, as you know, and there could be still some exit and also some players, new players coming in. We are not completely finalized with it, but don't expect any massive changes. When we met Olaf, we went through the current squad. When he came here, we speak every day about players. We speak every day about what exactly we're looking for in players. So, MLS is a bit different. You're having current contracts, you're having a salary cap, you're having also a roster construction, which is not that flexible like it is in Europe. So we cannot just change 8, 9, 10 players like you do it in the European model. So that means we want to stick to most of the players we have. We believe in most of the players we have here. Some of the guys, as you mentioned, they left, and we also have the draft picks, which will join us at the camp. So everybody can show themselves now in Florida what they're made of. Some of them, most of them will also go to Coachella into the next trainings camp. And this is when a preseason normally gives the head coach an exact overview, what he's looking for in the squad, what he's looking over exact on players' details. And that is right now the status when it comes to our new players or players who will leave.
Just to add to that, as Lutz said, we were the most active team in the MLS last summer. We signed 6 new players, including a DP level player, 2 TAM level players, an under 22 player. So that was the majority of our work. And we also have the benefit of players that were important last season coming back from long injuries to help round out the squad. Obviously, Celio is going to be hopefully back. Thomas Ostrak is going to be back. Those are effectively new players that we'll be able to count on at the beginning of the season.
All right, we'll transition over to Coach Olof Mellberg. So, Tom, if you want to kick things off with Coach.
Hi, Olaf. Tom Timmerman from the Post-Dispatch. So why leave Sweden? And well, first off, welcome. Does it feel like home with this weather? Since you've only been here a week, but feel like home?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I mean, well, first of all, nice to meet you all. Finally, it's been a long off-season, too long, in my view, and especially from the players' point of view. Can't wait to get started on team training on Monday, and thank you to Diego and Lutz for the presentation and really professional recruitment process. As they mentioned, thank you to the ownership and Caroline as well. So also involved in that process. Great impression of them and the club and the city. Visited last month or just after I signed, and great impression of the city, the people here, and the people working in the club.
They rolled out the snow for you, so you could.
Yeah, for sure. So I came last Friday. I think the storm came in Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it was a little bit of a chaotic week, especially with players coming in. They were supposed to come earlier in the week, but struggled with the flights. Yeah, it looks. Forecast is okay for next week, I think, when we start training. That is important. We need that. Again, it's been too long, the off season, and the preseason is not that long. So we need to get going on Monday.
So why leave Sweden and come to America?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Diego and Lutz have they mentioned a lot of things here. I had some really good meetings to start with quite a long time ago. I think the process overall was a couple of months, I think, with a lot of meetings. And during that time, I obviously did the research myself of the club, the city. Started to watch a lot of MLS games, not only our team, also opponents. And I mean, it's an attractive league now, an attractive place to be as a player and as a coach. The league is constantly growing in quality and in interest. So now. Really excited to be here.
And what did you learn about your team from watching all those games? Presumably you watched more late season games than early season games.
No, I watched all season. I watched all games, even from last season, and also to get to know the every individual player. I watched them previously in their careers as well. As Lutz mentioned before, I think my main job is to try to maximize the potential of the squad and each individual, and from there start to build relations between them, and also to have an idea on formations and the style of play we know, but how I tactically want to approach the season. I often say that the players decide that. From my perspective, anyway, I've been very tactically flexible throughout my coaching career. Played, I think, all formations imaginable, and I really like to for the quality of the players decide exactly how I play. But the identity of this team and the club won't change.
Go to Justin and Jacob.
Yeah, just to touch on that, Lutz mentioned, our style play 2.0, playing with the ball, being a little more comfortable on the ball. What have you seen from the roster so far that makes you confident to be able to be more flexible in those kind of formations going forward?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of qualities. I think we can have more quality on the ball. I think. Previously, most teams have had more possession than the opponents. Not all the time, but mostly. But it's not it's not a goal I have as a coach to have more possession than the opponents. I want to win football games. I would say I would like us for us to be a little bit more in control of the games. We're a little bit too open at times. I would like us to be an attacking team, to try to play the ball forward, looking for fast attacks. But to be able to do so and still be in control of the game, you really need to be disciplined in the balance and moving the team, pushing up. If you have fast attacks and you want to put early crosses in, the whole team needs to be extremely fast in pushing up the lines so that you can continue to put pressure on the opponents. for example. That's a way of controlling the game without being a tired possession team, because I don't like that. I like us to still be vertical, looking for the goal always.
Jacob, then Brendan.
Lutz and Diego talked about it a little bit, but the summer transfer window last year and the guys that they went out and got and kind of, made a run there at the end of the season last year. And in your short time looking at the roster, looking at this team, what kind of excites you about the guys that they brought in and some of the guys that they already have here and this roster right now?
I think attacking qualities especially, and some of the things I was talking about in possession. I see a lot of qualities. Obviously Hartel, Toscher being a couple of those players who really contributed after the summer. But there are other players as well. I think we can get more out of. In all aspects of the game, not only possession or attacking. I think we have a lot of physical players. We're gonna continue to be a team with high energy, physical team, strong on set pieces. I don't really want to exclude anything in our game. I like for us to be predictable for ourselves. We should know exactly what we're doing all the time, but unpredictable for the opponents.
Coach Brendan Wiese, KTRS Radio, welcome to St. Louis. You mentioned watching some MLS tape as you accepted the job. Is there anything that you've seen or learned about the league that maybe you didn't know before that really intrigues you?
Well, I mentioned before, I think the quality of the league in general just keeps getting better. More better players coming in. I think in the past there was more unbalance in the squads. You had a few extremely good players, and the rest were not as good. I think you're able to build a more balanced squad now. So definitely good quality and organization as well. MLS in the past maybe was even more open. I think it's still a quite. If you're looking at playing style, it's an attack-minded approach. Most teams, which means it's even more important and even more opportunities if you have the right balance between attack and defense and in transition, both from a tactical point of view, but also from an individual point of view. You can get a lot out of being thorough in the way you work there.
Corey?
Hey, Coach. Corey Miller from Channel 5 here in town. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to town.
Thank you.
Just curious what you knew, if anything, about St. Louis before you came here, and maybe what you've learned about the soccer history and the passion this town has for the sport since you've arrived.
Yeah, I didn't know much before, to be honest. As I said, I was here for a few days last month and got a really good impression of the city and the people here. And obviously, from watching many games, I can see the ambient in the on match day. It looks amazing, and I think it's quite unique in the MLS. To have that support from the fans. Also, I get the feeling that they're really following the game. I think that's not always the case in the MLS. You have a lot of cheering fans, but not all of them are proper football fans. But you really get the feeling that they're following the game, supporting the way we play, and obviously They've created a fantastic setup here for the match day experience with everything surrounding the game as well, which obviously helps as well.
Matt Rocchio, then Len.
Coach Matthew Rocchio, nice to meet you. Welcome to St. Louis. When you had that break in your managerial career for a couple of years there from 2020 to early 2023, what did you learn, about the sport? And obviously, when you take time away, I mean, did you take any coaching courses? Did you improve yourself as a manager in those 3 years? And what did you learn kind of taking a break from the sport for a little bit?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I finished my pro license, so I was more or less in the middle of that. So I continued my studying. I was also working similar to Lutz as commentating Champions League. I did that for almost 3 years, so which gave me an opportunity to look at football on that level again. I'd been away from that for quite a few years. You're so sort of in your bubble when you're working with your team. You're only focused on your team and the league. So it was an opportunity for me to watch football from from a neutral perspective, and also continuing to study.
Hello, Coach. Lynn Worthy from the Post-Dispatch. I wondered how you compared the challenge and the task ahead here in St. Louis to your previous stops and your previous coaching experience.
Yeah, I think it's a step up. For sure, it's a step up in attention with the MLS and also the interest surrounding the MLS and this club. Which I feel I'm ready for. It's something I wouldn't say I've avoided it previously in my career, but it's not something that I've been a goal as such to coach a team with a lot of interest from fans, media, and so on. I've really wanted to focus on coaching and learn everything about what coaching is about. That's why I chose Brommapojkarna. They're a huge academy club, but very, very small club from the seniors team, and we don't have a lot of fans and a lot of media attention, which gives you the possibility to really work as a coach with the staff, with the players, and just only focus on that basically. Because I felt that from my career as a player, I know what it's about, all the attention that being at a bigger club brings. So and I don't have a problem with that, but it's something that I'm quite comfortable with, and I know from the past. So I wanted to really again focus on my coaching. So that's why I wouldn't say avoid, but I turned some bigger teams down. I didn't feel it was the right point or level. So I felt when this opportunity came, I felt it was right.
Is that just do you feel like that was just the experience, or was there a difference now for you that now a little more attention is okay?
Yeah, it is okay. I think the whole setup, with everything, the infrastructure here is amazing. The training ground, the stadium here, great first impressions of the staff working here. So that's had a big impact as well in my decision. To have a great working environment.
Next, we'll head over to Zoom. We'll go to Matt Baker first, then Jonathan All. So Matt, you can go.
Olof, Matt Baker with Flagler Footy Podcast and a contributor to 550. I was wondering about your training styles and how you manage kind of interpersonal conflict. Last year with City, a lot was made from the players as well, about the training styles being different in MLS from what they're used to. Can you describe kind of how you plan to bring training to this team if you're going to bring a little bit of a European flair? And what are kind of your experiences in handling kind of interpersonal conflict with the players?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the players yet from personally. I've met most of them, and I will meet all of them on Monday. So for me, it's all about getting to know them and their personalities, and again, it's maximizing the potential of the squad, not only on the pitch, it's also off the pitch. And for that, need to get to know the players. Had a lot of information from the staff around me and Lutz, so I have an idea, but I wanna get to know them first, before I before I make any decisions. Training methods, I would like us to be a high intensity, high energy team. So we're going to work a lot of that in our training methods. We have ways. I call it sometimes. I want to build. I want to have non-stop players in my team. I think if you look at the highest level of football in the world, you see the teams are they're constantly switched on. Physically and mentally, they don't take any breaks. Obviously at half time or maybe some other occasions, but apart from that, they're constantly switched on. It doesn't mean you're sprinting around for 90 minutes, but either physically or mentally, a lot of the time both, you're always switched on. That's something all the top teams in the world have in common. Lower level teams, they tend to need breaks. That's when you want to build physically as well. Players who are able to make high speed runs for 90 minutes, but it's also mentally. Lower level sometimes they want to take a break when the ball goes out for a throw in or when the keeper catches the ball, like take a pause, and this you can develop a lot in training methods. With intensity in our in the way we train, so that's definitely a goal we have for this preseason to build non-stop players.
Next, we'll go to Jonathan Hall.
Jonathan Hall from St. Louis Public Radio. So the first year that City SC existed, team achieved way more than expectations. Second year, underachieved, and there were massive changes. With that brief history, what do you expect for this year, and how much pressure do you feel you're going to be under to exceed expectations?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it before. It was a little bit of a chaotic season last season. A lot of changes, which probably affected the results. I think we're in a good place now. Most players are fit. We have a good size squad, quality squad. So I think we can do well. Pressure is not a problem. Every game I go into, I expect to win. It doesn't matter the opponents. If we're home, if we're away, I will expect us to win. That's for sure. So the most pressure I think I will put on myself.
Next, we'll go to Raul Ardiaga.
Hi, Coach. Raul Ardiaga with Telemundo San Luis. First of all, welcome to the city. Welcome to the league. Coming from European football, of course, as a player and as a coach, what are your expectations about the league, about the MLS, about how competitive it can be, comparing to the European style, to the European football?
Well, I think the MLS is a league with influences from all over the world. Both from a coaching perspective, but also a lot of players. So I don't think it's a massive difference, especially now when the quality is better. I think in general in the squads, not only 3 or 4 players. So the quality is definitely there. I think you have the stats. It's one of the leagues with the best and worst home and away record, which will be obviously something new to me with the time differences, with the climate, with the travels. That's something we're looking at now to try to do better. We didn't do well enough away from home last season. That goes for many teams. So that will definitely be a change. And we're all working on that to have a really good approach for the away games.
We got time for 2 more. We'll go to Jen Cease and wrap up with Tom Schwartz.
Hello, Olaf. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Welcome to snowy St. Louis. I'm Jen Cease, City's radio partner with Y98 and KMOX. Your role as a center back, as a player, along with a goalkeeper like Lutz, arguably has one of the better views on a pitch when it comes to defending and attacking. Does your past playing role as a center back influence how you coach and approach game strategy?
Yeah, I think so. I think Lutz was spot on before when he said, a good player doesn't make a good coach. But I think it helps, especially on the pitch and working in detail. You know the situations the players will be in on the pitch. You can see distances, you can see relations between players, details on how to approach 1v1 situation. I mean, all these little things in details on the pitch, I think is really helpful if you've been on a high level as a player. And yeah, I think from a tactical perspective, I think you said it. You have a really good view of the pitch as a centre back or as a goalie, which I think helps as well. It wasn't anything I really thought of when I was playing. That probably helps. Yeah.
And then we'll conclude with Tom Schwartz.
Hey, Coach, Tom Schwartz, Soccer Sunday. Välkommen till St. Louis.
Tack så mycket.
Your teammate, the iconic Zlatan Ibrahimovic, called you the greatest Swedish defender ever. How did you take that? How did that affect you, not even just on the pitch, but as a leader, as a man, to get a guy who, I don't know, did he ever compliment anyone else? It's just a phenomenal thing to say about you. And did that make you feel different as a man and as a leader?
Yeah, it was great. I don't know, he must have really liked me on that day. I've had all kinds of comments from him, but that was fantastic. Obviously, he's the best footballer we've ever had in Sweden. So that was nice. We played together for many years and we're close friends.
All right, guys, that concludes today's press conference. Thank you, everyone who came to join us. Diego, Lutz, Olof, thank you as well. Appreciate everything. We're going to do a quick photo opportunity, whether it would be, I think we'll do it on the pitch, or are we going to do it right up front here?
You guys are cool. A quick one outside. A much better visual.
Let's do it.
Where's the shoe?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Agreed.
That'd be a nice photo with the
If anyone
snow
wants to
on the
take
pitch.
a quick photo, snap it over there. We'll be done.
Thanks,
again,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you, John.
Drive safe.